How do people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for a brand new video, and this video is in particular about Joe Rodon, the Welsh Warrior for Leeds United, and what I see for him going forward. Before I get into the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, drop your thoughts and comments below. And listen, big up for the support on the weekend. Obviously, the vibes were immaculate. Everyone was feeling good. And listen, Robert, Wilf, Dave Rogers, Isaac, and Mr. P, big up for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, guys. And that support goes a long way. Along with all the members of the channel, big up to each and every one of you. And listen, people, it's a crazy thing, football. It's a crazy thing, isn't it? That's why we love it. But we could literally be promoted by next Monday. How crazy is that? You know, we was looking a week ago thinking, damn, we could be in the playoffs. And just how quickly things change. You know, pretty much down to Sheffield United's bad form, but also the turnaround in form for us last week. Those 2 wins last week were absolutely huge. Way at Middlesbrough and then getting the job done against Preston. But we could literally be promoted. And you know what? I want that, man. I don't want this to go to the last day. Don't want it. I don't want anything to do with that. I want Plymouth to enjoy their day out. They've earned that now. Plymouth, you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. You know, let's give Plymouth, you know, if they need the points to stay up, man, we might just put out the C team, you know, one of those. You know, we'll be celebrating, we'll be planning for the Premier League. And listen, I can't lie to you. I've said on the match reaction that the job's not done, and it isn't. But I'd be lying to you if I said that I haven't been thinking about the Premier League this weekend, because I have. I've been watching the games and looking at the teams and going, how would we match up against this team? Oh, who could match this player here? You know, I'm guilty. But look, the job isn't done, but it's looking very good. And you just look about what's happening over with Chris Wilder. I mean, I saw that whole thing after the Plymouth game when they lost, and you know, you could see straight away that there's a little moment in the video after he's confronted the 2 Plymouth players where it all gets a little bit silly, a little melee ensues, and then you can see him like tap his head like, oh, what have I done here? There was instant regret, but there's so much on the line, man, and that's the thing for me when I talk about this football club. And why we need Premier League football, it's probably for the same reason Chris Wilder. He's probably thinking, down, we spent 10 million on Tom Cannon. You know what? We're going to need Premier League football to help pay for this, you know, because we can't do this for a second season. Harmer's going to be gone. Maybe Michael Cooper too, and a few other gems. Hadvich, he'll probably be gone as well. So there's all these overriding emotions, which usually comes down to a financial dollar. But for me, it's about the prestige of the football club as a fan. That's what it always will come down to for me. It's about where Leeds United should be, and that is the Premier League. But we got to do it right. We have to do it right. And one of those players that could help us do it right is Joe Rodon. This is courtesy of LUFC data. Joe, you know, 94 appearances. I'm not going to go into the things here. 55 wins, 44 clean sheets he's been a part of. But the most important thing here is despite all the bumps and bruises, Joe Rodon has now made 79 consecutive championship appearances. No player has made more appearances for Leeds United under Daniel Farke than Joe Rodon. And this goes to the thing about being available. And I've changed my stance on that whole being available is your key attribute. It's not, because you could be available and be crap. And we've seen that before as well, where you're just like, damn, man, this guy just won't get injured. No, not wishing injury on anyone. Okay, I'm just saying. But Joe Rodon has been an absolute beast at the back. And I've said before about Joe Rodon, because I get this question a bit, do you think Rodon can play in the Premier League? My stance hasn't changed from last season. I said this about Joe Rodon last season. I absolutely think he can play in the Premier League for a few reasons. And it went for that same thought last season, and certainly nothing I've seen this season has changed my mind. He's going to be 28 years old when this season is in flow for the Premier League, if we get there, and that's a perfect age for him to be there. And I think he's learned so much from his last stint at Tottenham in terms of how to get on in the games, you know, how to conduct yourself in the Premier League, and I think he's going to be hungry for it. More importantly, though, is that we're going to need someone like Joe Rodon at the back. Someone that doesn't mind putting their body on the line, somebody that can read the game pretty well. But there are differences in the Championship and Premier League. There's huge differences. Whereas he's strong aerially in the Championship, that's not going to be an issue for him. He's good in the air, but the ball doesn't see the air that much in the Premier. It's all pass on the floor. You've got to read the players running around you. That's what you've got to read. So you're going to have to turn on your brain a bit more and make sure that you can read the runners, because that's what it is in Premier League. It's all about movement. It's all about people finding that space, exploiting it, and turning your defense inside out if possible. But I think he's going to be fine with that. Joe Rodon, for me, you know, even last season, I thought could play in the league. and nothing I've seen has changed my mind. He can read the game, he's brave, and we're going to need that at the bottom of the table. I liken him to like a James Tarkowski, the kind of defender where it's not going to be pretty, but he's going to throw his body where it hurts. You know, he's going to sacrifice his body for the team, and that is what you're going to need. It can't all be ball playing centre backs with a pretty pass, but then when they're in a tussle, then you know they're nowhere to be seen. Something though that you know, the physicality in the championship that you can get away with, you can't get away within the Premier League. You see that week in, week out, whistles being blown for the softest of little pullbacks or little trips. So there's just things like that that he's going to have to learn, and I'm sure he's aware of that already, being at Spurs that whole time. But yeah, Joe Rodon for me is I've got no issue with him. He's not on the list for me where I think you've got to sell him or anything like that. But what I do want to see though is I want competition for him. That's the most important thing for me. It can't be that Joe Rodon is our first choice and then that's it, or and you get like a subpar backup. Absolutely not. Now, there's players, obviously, if Leeds United are going to be like really ruthless and go and get someone that's even better, then I'm all for it. Because if it means moving Joe Rodon to the bench, that's only good for the club Leeds United. It's not good for Joe Rodon, but it's good for the club Leeds United. And for me, that's the most important thing, people, I'm afraid. You know, it's not about personal, you know, relationships or personal feelings. It's about the club. We've done it before with personal feelings, and it got us absolutely nowhere. In fact, it got us back here. So for me, Leeds United, what they need to do is get real competition for Joe Rodon. I would give him a go though. I would. I said before, I'd feel secure with him starting the Premier League, especially in this version of the Premier League. People where there's no real killers now, unless the summer market you know comes and they start to bring in more real strikers. Because at the moment it is very threadbare. All the damage is really being done by wide players and attacking forwards. The striker market is it's not great. It isn't great. So unless something drastically changes over the summer, he should be fine, especially in the more physical battles against those kind of strikers. Where he may have a problem though are just the ones that just have that little touch of elegance about them. But look, it's going to be a battle. That's what it is going to be for us all season next year. And but you want someone like that in your ranks. And for me, it's a no brainer. He comes up with us and has a future in the Premier League. I'm very interested to hear what you think in regards to that because I'm sure not everyone would agree. But I figure if you get the defensive help, we're going to need to buy defenders. If we surround him with the defensive help that he needs and the team needs, he should be more than fine in the Premier League. And that is my opinion on Joe Rodon. So listen, people, I don't want to, you know, what's the saying, put the cart before the horse, but it does feel like it's so close, man. It's so close. We cannot mess this up, surely. You know, we're almost 2 points away from our 90-point trophy retention. We've got to do this, people. We got to do this. But please let me know your thoughts about Joe Rodon in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, people. Like the video before you go. It's free to do and it helps out the channel immensely. I'm going to go and soak my hay fever eyes. See you later, people. Peace out.